What's up, witches?
What's up, witches? I'm Linda,
And I'm John.
and this is Getting Witchy.
This is Getting Witchy. And today we are going to be talking about the history and mythos behind Friday the 13th, which is
Tomorrow, 2 days from now.
Yeah, 2 days.
Because today's Wednesday.
Sorry, we our days are kind of like all because we work graveyard. So yeah. So welcome, witches, wizards, and all things magic. Today we're going to be talking about, as we just said, Friday the 13th. Interestingly, from the stuff that I found, I'm not sure what it is, but the importance of Friday the 13th can only be described or given as example by all the shit they've done to make it a day of bad luck.
Right. Misfortune.
Yeah. Okay, we'll start with, Friday is Frigga's Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Freak's
Fry.
Day, yeah.
Frig is based on, like, Thursday is Thor's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So over the centuries, they've attempted to make Friday and the number 13 represent a bad or evil omen. But isn't believing in omens in and of itself heretical?
Welcome to the hypocrisy of the church.
So,
I mean, it's okay for them to use herbs against witchcraft, but it's not okay for witches to use the herbs,
Yeah. So here are some of the most prevalent thoughts on Friday the 13th. Now, it's a date that signifies bad luck in many Western cultures. The superstition is akin to the beliefs that crossing paths with a black cat, which is also bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I used to try to deliberately if I saw a black cat, I would
deliberately try to cross paths with it.
Yeah, like if it was off to my left, I would go to its left to make it go in front of me, and vice versa. Right.
Well,
but
one thing I never understood about that, why is it that nobody ever stopped to think that maybe the path they were on was already unlucky and the cat was trying to warn them away from it?
Right. Well, I've seen some videos, and with AI now, I mean, it's possible, but sorry, I'm actually getting a little bit of a cold, which doesn't happen often in my life. But I've seen videos where, like, someone's cruising down the road, and a bird, a white dove, it looked like dropped down and hovered in front of the vehicle and panicked the driver and made them stop. And then all of a sudden a tree fell, a big ass fucking tree that would have probably crushed their car
had they not stopped.
And then another one shows, like, a sinkhole opening. So probably AI, but they don't say that bird is bad luck.
Right.
He just stopped you from driving into disaster.
Right.
And I think that's the way it is with black cats too.
Yes.
And we're going to do an episode on the mythos behind black cats, because I found a lot of stuff based on that doing this research. But it's also akin to walking under a ladder, which I found hilarious. But I remember doing labor, manual labor, like a laborer on construction sites when I was early 20s, late teens. People freaked out about the ladder deal on a construction site. You do not walk under a fucking ladder. Never got that one either. Or opening an umbrella indoors, breaking a mirror, 7 years of bad luck. Now, in reality, though, the reason that came about is because when mirrors first came out, they were made of silver, you said, right?
Right. Either silver or gold. So they were very expensive
and it would take 7 years of a normal person's salary
to replace it. Should it got broken.
So that's where the whole mythos of, 7 years of bad luck. Statistically, though, it happens at least once a year, and sometimes up to 3 times a year, having a Friday the 13th. And I love Friday the 13th. I love that day. It's a fucking awesome day. On average, though, there is one Friday the 13th that occurs every 212.35 days. So almost 212 and a half days.
So how much do you love Friday the 13th?
A lot. What?
Is it your favorite day? Your second favorite day?
Sorry, this is part 2 because we tried doing this video yesterday and we had been up for like 16 hours.
Oh, longer than that.
And then also did work at your sister's place or the family house. So we were really tired. But yeah, so my favorite days are Friday the 13th and Halloween together. And then Yule.
Okay.
Or Christmas season, but not Christmas specifically. But yeah, those are my favorite days. Anyway.
So Friday the 13th's reputation as an unlucky day actually stems from a combination of ancient biblical, mythological, and historical events that kind of merged a fear of the number 13, triskaidekaphobia, with the perceived misfortune of Fridays.
Where do they come up with these fucking... I mean, I realize that it's probably, if you break it down, each 4 or 5 letters in that word mean something different in Latin, and they combine it. But Jesus, what?
Triskaidekaphobia.
Triskaidekaphobia.
Yes, the fear of the number 13.
Say that 3 times really fast.
Now, this fear of Friday the 13th is largely a Western modern superstition rooted in Christian traditions and the 14th century Knights Templar arrests. The fear of Friday the 13th causes some people to experience anxiety, which can include physical symptoms such as an increased heart rate, sweating, breathing rapidly, trembling. And even though it seems really ridiculous to those who don't suffer that fear, the fear for them is real. It's very super real. So yeah, if you know anybody who has that phobia, be gentle with them in a couple days.
No. Wish them a happy Friday the 13th. I think there should be Friday the 13th greeting cards. I mean, fuck, they've got Valentine's Day cards, which we're doing a Valentine's episode that will air on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
But yeah, that was pretty interesting too. Like the mythos and actually origin of the whole. Anyway. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh,
it broke it down.
Okay. So Donald Dossie, a psychotherapist. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah. That's why I said you go ahead. You're better at these fucking, even though I took Latin and I could actually speak a dead language once upon a time. I still understand what it means for the most part, but I have a hard time saying it. So you're better at it than I am.
So I'm actually going to have to take this one a little bit slower because it is a much longer word. Paraskevidecatriophobia.
Derived from the Greek words paraskevi,
which means Friday, triskaideka, which means 13, and phobos, which means fear. Shove it all together and you get that
the other word that she said.
He coined that term to describe the often paralyzing fear that individuals experience relating to the date and to diagnose those who suffer from it. Because, there's the fear of the number 13, but then there's an even bigger fear of Friday the 13th. And so apparently we needed something to describe that too. The fear is also sometimes dosed as Triskaidekaphobia, which is the joining of Frigg, the Norse goddess for whom Friday is named, with the term triskaidekaphobia, which is the fear of number 13.
I don't see where they get
to
that
describe
from.
the same damn
Yeah,
thing.
I don't see where they get all that from. Now, if you really want to go back a ways, millennia, even, some attribute the origins of the fear of Friday the 13th, or the number 13 anyway, to the code of Hammurabi. Yeah, Hammurabi. Hammurabi. He was a Babylonian king. He was the fourth Babylonian king to rule. And he was the Babylonian king that basically expanded Babylon to encompass all of Sumeria. He was the first one to do that. The Code of Hammurabi was one of the earliest and most complete written legal codes. Because again, the Sumerians were uncultured barbarians that gave us mathematics. They gave us writing. They gave us the wheel. They gave us law. And they gave us agriculture. But they were barbarians. The most complete written legal codes, and was proclaimed by the Babylonian king. Sorry. There we go. King Hammurabi, who reigned from 1792 to 1750 BC. The Hammurabi Code of Laws was a collection of 282 rules, and established standards for commercial as well as business, family, and marriage laws. And where the original eye for an eye came from. Some of the punishments were pretty brutal. I mean, if you stole a man's ox, you would have to pay, what was it, 10 times the value of the ox,
right?
To make up for it. Other punishments was, theft. You lose a hand, and oftentimes it was because, well, at least, well, that's Muslim, so that's different. Like that's Muslim. But yeah, you lose your hand, lose a foot, a breast. It is documented that was a punishment. What someone had to do to have their breast cut off, I'm not sure. But I don't think I want to know.
No, I don't want to find out.
I don't want to. Yeah, no, I'm good. But interestingly, of the 282 rules, they were numbered. Okay. The 13th rule is missing. There is no 13th rule in Hammurabi's laws. It goes 12, 14, just like in many
buildings. There's no 13th floor. I mean, there has to be a 13th floor.
Well, but 14 is the 13th floor. They just bumped up you follow me?
Yeah. Or some artists won't put a 13th track on their record.
Right. So supposedly the 13th law is missing. I found the 282 laws, but they're in cuneiform, and I don't know how to read cuneiform. So I am taking history.com at its word that the 13th one is missing. Others claim that ancient Sumerians who followed a 12 base, where we follow a 10 base. Time to get up for work?
Time to get ready to go
Oh.
to
So we follow a 10 base system, where the Sumerians used 12. And they felt 12 was a perfect number. So therefore, the number that follows 12 is the most imperfect number. 12 is the perfect number. 13 would be the most imperfect number. So going back literally millennia that people were hating on the number 13. The fuck? I love 13. It's a prime number. We're going to get into that in a minute.
Evidence of Friday the 13th being considered unlucky here in the United States dates back to the late 19th century when William Fowler, who had served as a Union captain during the Civil War, founded the 13 Club.
I definitely would have joined this club. Go
on. So the 13 Club was an exclusive society that sought to break superstitious taboos about luck. It consisted of 13 members, including Fowler, who would gather for a 13-course meal on the 13th day of each month in room 13 of Knickerbocker Cottage in New York City.
And what time did they do their first, and what day?
So the inaugural meeting was held at 8:13 p.m. on Friday, January 13th, 1882. Now, before sitting down to dine at each one of these meetings, each member had to pass under a ladder with a banner that read Moritori te salutamus, which in Latin means, those of us who are about to die salute you.
That would have been great to play the AC/DC for those about to rock. We salute you. Like, I would have loved to have been part of that. Could you imagine how they had a fucking blast?
Oh, they had to.
They had a blast. Okay, but here's where it dives deep into the rabbit hole. Well, most experts have a hard time singling out the exact origin of Friday the 13th superstition in mythology. However, both the number 13 and Friday have long been regarded as unlucky in certain cultures. In biblical traditions, the Last Supper, 13 people were present, Jesus and his 12 apostles. Then Judas Iscariot was invited, and he became the 13th guest, with Jesus being the host. And of course, he is the betrayer. Interesting side note, if you search the book of Judas, because they have found, when they have deciphered the Dead Sea Scrolls, there's the book of Thomas, there's the book of Judas, there's all kinds of books that aren't in the current biblical copies. The book of Judas claims that Jesus and Judas planned this in advance. He asked Judas to betray him. Interesting twist, but still, he's considered the 13th guest and bad luck. Furthermore, because Jesus rose on the third day, which was
Easter
Sunday, that means he was crucified and died on a Friday. So Friday's bad luck. It goes even deeper. Other biblical stories state that when Adam ate the forbidden fruit, it was on a Friday. How the fuck would they know that? And then you asked the question last time, well, it doesn't explain how the apple got stuck in Adam's throat. Adam's apple?
Right, because
because he's not good at swallowing. I mean, anyway.
Okay.
And for some reason, Friday has been considered an unlucky day for starting projects or traveling. Okay, starting projects, yes. If we're at work, do not come to me Friday morning, or better, Friday afternoon, and say, this needs to be completed by Monday. Fuck you. I'm off Saturday, Sunday. Like, yes, starting a project on a Friday is a bad idea. However, traveling, I mean, that's our weekend. Typically, I mean, there are many.
Who work Monday through Friday 5, that's the beginning of your weekend.
Right. So if you're going to go to Vegas,
Right. You're
or
leaving Friday
Disney
night.
World or what. Yeah, you're leaving Friday afternoon, Friday night.
Yeah.
So I don't get that. Oh, and it's also said that Friday is the day that Cain killed Abel.
And the day that the Temple of Solomon was destroyed, and the day the Great Flood began. But again, how would they know that? We weren't keeping track of time the same way we do now. And we
Not
didn't
even using the same calendar.
We don't have days. We didn't have names for the days back then.
So it's quite, the biblical mythos behind Friday the 13th and its supposed badness is just mind-blowingly hilarious, honestly. Like, how do you know Adam ate the apple on Friday? I mean, even the crucifixion and death of Jesus, maybe they crucified him on Thursday, and because they usually lingered a long time, they didn't die right away.
Right.
Even though the Roman soldiers supposedly stuck him in the side.
Well, but they only did that to quicken the process after he had already been up there for a while. A long while. He was up there for
so if they
already.
Crucified him on a Friday and it took till Saturday then he was resurrected on Monday.
Yes, but you also have to remember that the church basically changed Easter to align with the equinox.
Yes.
So
it's not even the same date.
No, because
no, he was born in March, didn't die in March. Or April, because Easter changes.
Right. Easter changed because Easter is determined by the first Sunday after the first full moon after the spring equinox.
Yes.
So we actually don't really know when he was born. He was born in spring. We know that because the shepherds were out in the fields with their flocks.
Yeah, it wasn't December 25th.
No. But we actually, there's really no telling when he was actually crucified because they've changed that date.
So now, fast forward a little bit to Norse mythology. The Allfather, Odin, called for a banquet of 12 of his favorite and most powerful gods. The 13th guest, uninvited, appeared. Loki, the trickster god, and brought chaos and death. So Loki tricks the blind god Hod. I'm guessing at the pronunciation. It's H with the letter O with the two dots. So, and usually that's like a guttural kind of. I'm not Swedish or Norwegian, so I'm not going to even try to pronounce it. And then the letter D, Hod. So he tricks the blind god, who was an expert archer, never missed, into shooting his brother Balder, the god of light and goodness, and killing him.
Because the arrow was made of mistletoe, wasn't it?
Yes.
Because that was the
only thing that could kill Balder was mistletoe. Right. And mistletoe isn't going to, in and of itself, be deadly to a god, except if you make it into an arrow. So there's that. And then we have the Knights Templar. Do you want to take this one?
Okay, sure. So Knights Templar. King Philip IV of France ordered the arrest of all of the Knights Templar with the blessing of the Pope, leading to their torture and execution. Hundreds were tortured, forced to confess to heresy, and eventually executed. Now, this all started on Friday, October 13th, 1307. Why? Because King Philip IV was deeply in debt to the Templars.
Because he just finished a war campaign.
And could not pay them back for what they...
The Pope also owed the Templars money.
Yes. So he orchestrated a secret, simultaneous, and coordinated raid across France, arresting hundreds of the Knights Templar. The charges included, they were accused of heresy, devil worship, spitting on the cross, financial corruption, and all of this they were forced to admit to under extreme torture.
Extreme torture, like pulling fingernails, the rack, you know, ball checking.
Yeah. By 1312, Pope Clement V officially disbanded the Knights Templar under pressure from King Philip. The last Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, was burned at the stake in 1314, but he cursed them all. So as he was dying, it is said that as he was being burned at the stake, that he cursed both King Philip and Pope Clement, summoning them to appear before God's tribunal within a year. So he basically said, yeah, I'm dying right now. You bitches are going to be following me in less than a year. And you're going to have to stand before God and defend yourselves for what you're doing.
And they did.
And they did. Within a year, they were both dead. So Grandmaster Jacques de Molay was burned at the stake in March of 1314. Pope Clement V died on April 20th of 1314, and King Philip IV died on November 29th, 1314. So it didn't even take a full year for all that to happen. And I'm wondering if, like, maybe he knew that they were going to be dying anyway, and like just said it to put it in their heads that, oh,
well, self-manifestation.
Yeah.
Well, so Pope Clement died from a long illness. What is that? That's kind of like the long COVID today. It's like it just doesn't go away. Like,
yeah,
and then some legends say that he was burned in a church fire. How
ironic.
Appropriately ironic that would be.
Whereas King Philip died of the official word was stroke while hunting, and the Capetian dynasty collapsed within 14 years, with all of Philip's sons dying without having any male children.
So that bloodline completely wiped out. Completely wiped out. And the
effectiveness,
right. Now, the dramatic and sudden destruction of this prominent group on that specific date has led to the long-standing widespread belief that Friday the 13th is cursed or ominous. The order was supposedly wiped out, excuse me, except, of course, for the flotilla of ships that left the night before. Like I think, and it's my opinion based on the stuff that I've researched, I think Jacques de Molay and the other high-ranking ones sacrificed themselves so the flotilla would be untouched. So it is theorized anywhere from 11, which is also a prime number, to 13 ships, and even upwards of 21 ships escaped Palestine, loaded with all the stuff they found when they were doing their excavations of Jerusalem, and then just vanished into history. But they didn't go searching for them because they had the ringleaders.
Right.
So I find that interesting. Okay, so cultural popularity, of course, pairing Friday the 13th. The pairing of Friday the 13th became firmly established in pulp culture in the late 19th to 20th centuries, and that, of course, continues to this day.
Right.
Enhanced by novels and later the Friday the 13th film franchise. But before any of that, there was a play in France. Friday the 13th might have been associated with more misfortune as early as the first half of the 19th century. So that'd be like 1830 something. An article, 1834, in the French literary magazine Revue de Paris by Italian author Marquis de Salvo refers to a Sicilian count who killed his daughter on Friday the 13th. The article, titled La Chateau de Carini, states it is always Fridays and the number 13 that brings bad luck. No, he was just psycho and killed his daughter on that date. I mean, And then there's a character in a French play from the same year, Les Fenêtres de
Gribouille.
Gribouille. And I took French too, but I'm better at Latin. The finesse of the scribble. That's an interesting name for the finesse of the scribble. By Claude Louis Marie de Rochefort. Rush.
I think it's Roquefort.
Roquefort Le Quay. Jesus Christ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, six names in a name. Dude. Okay. And then there's Philippe Francois Pinel. Dumois. Sure. States, I was born on a Friday, December 13th, 1813, from which come all of my misfortunes. So
only if you think it's going to bring you all of your misfortunes.
But they're putting it into literature. So it spreads it quicker. An early documented reference in English archives occurred in H.S. Edwards' biography of Gioacchino Rossini, who died on Friday the 13th, November 1868. Rossini was surrounded to the last by admiring friends, and if it be true that, like so many Italians, he regarded Fridays as an unlucky day and 13 as an unlucky number, it is remarkable that on Friday the 13th of November, he passed away.
And then there's the fact that the publication in 1907 of T.W. Lawson's popular novel Friday the 13th.
Yeah, you get an easy name.
Contributed to popularizing the superstition. In the novel, an unscrupulous broker takes advantage of the superstition to create a Wall Street panic on a Friday the 13th. And then, of course, you have the movie franchise.
Yes. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, Friday the 13th. 13 is a prime number. It is only divisible by 1 in itself. So that makes it a powerful number right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, any mathematician will tell you prime numbers are important and should be recognized. Now, we can get into I put up how you can determine if a number is prime. We won't get into that, but because it's actually kind of, well, it's not confusing, but it's so divisibility by 3. The sum of the digits 1 and 3 equals 4. It is not divisible by 3. So 13 is not divisible by 3. Since 13 is not divisible by any prime numbers up to its square root, its only factors are 1 and 13. Therefore, it satisfies the criteria for prime number in a nutshell. To go further down the rabbit hole, again, there are actually 13 constellations, yes, not 12.
No, because you have to add Ophiuchus, which nobody uses and don't know why.
There are also
13 zodiac signs. Again, Ophiuchus, but nobody uses it.
13 full moons.
Yep.
And originally, before we switched to our current calendar system, there were 13 months in the year. Every month was 28 days long. Not to mention the fact that the year originally started in March.
Which is why Pisces is the first actual zodiac sign.
Which would also explain, I mean, Christ was born during spring.
Mm-hmm.
So, not the beginning of our calendar year, the beginning of the past calendar year. But anyway, so on a side note, do you want to read this?
Sure. So it's not just Friday the 13th
I think this is
that is seen as unlucky. In Spain and Greece, Tuesday the 13th is considered unlucky because it merges the symbolism of Mars, the Roman god of war, for whom the Spanish word martes, meaning Tuesday, is named.
With Tuesday is his day anyway, isn't it?
Yes.
It's Aries, yes, or Mars.
And So you merge that with the number 13 and they think it's unlucky. In Italy, Friday the 17th provokes fear in some because the letters in the Roman numeral for 17, which are XVII, can be reordered to spell the Latin word vixi, meaning my life is over.
So an anagram.
Yeah.
Because of a possible anagram.
Because of a possible anagram, okay. They find it unlucky.
Okay.
In Japan and China, April 4th, or the 4th day of the 4th month, is thought to be unlucky because the character for the number 4, when spoken out loud, sounds like the Chinese and Japanese words for death. I mean, now that one I can kind of understand.
Okay. Yeah, I can buy that for $1.
Understand that. But I mean, here's the thing. While some studies do suggest that there is no statistical increase in accidents on this day, this cultural fear persists. Like it's programmed into us, right, from generations.
For millennia.
For millennia, yes. But nobody ever takes into account how many successes.
I'm curious about that myself. Like, how many good things occur that people don't talk about because they don't expect it and don't, you know what I mean?
Right. But I have actually heard artists, because I think Taylor Swift is one of them, who has actually said that 13 is a lucky number for her.
It's a lucky number for me.
And like she will specifically do like if 13 somehow ends up in it, she will, whatever it is that 13 is involved in, like she'll choose that one, and she's a megastar.
Yeah.
So obviously 13 works for her. But you don't have to fear 13 because there's nothing.
No, Friday the 13th is an awesome freaking day. I hope this Friday the 13th for you is just as awesome. And don't fear the unnatural. Embrace it. Don't follow don't follow the bullshit that they have shoved down our throats for literally millennia. Based on, the Great Flood happened on a Friday.
Yeah.
Cain killed Abel on a Friday. It was probably Friday the 13th. I mean, because they had calendars back then.
Right.
But that is Friday the 13th. It's I went down a rabbit hole on this one that 4 pages of notes could have become 8 easily.
Oh yeah.
But hope you've enjoyed it. Hope if you did have or do have a fear of Friday the 13th or a ick feeling, as they call it now, I hope that we were able to maybe curb that a little bit, because it's actually an awesome freaking day. It's Frigga's Day, and it's a prime number.
Yes, and for those of you who follow either Greek or Roman mythology, Friday is also associated with Aphrodite and Venus. So it's also a day for love.
Yes. Hence Valentine's Day the next day this year. So hope you enjoyed it, guys. We enjoyed doing it. It's been fun. And have we mentioned the tree?
We did in the last one. We did mention it's still up, and we're changing it out.
We got rid of all the Christmas ornaments. There's the Fallout ornament. There's the Dia de los Muertes ornaments that are still up there, and the ornament that you made.
For the, yes.
That's all. And
protection and prosperity.
We're gonna put, not doing Valentine's Day, but we missed in bulk.
Yes.
On the 2nd, but we're gonna do the tree with the pagan holidays.
Yes.
So
peace out.
Peace out, witches. Have a great day.
We love you.
Happy Friday the 13th, bitches.
Be safe out there. We look forward to seeing you again.
Get ready. Valentine's Day episode coming up.
Ew.